What's up, people? Rhyming. That's right. Same shirt, same hat, same place, same face. So, I made the video showing my guest house, and a lot of people are like, wow, it's nice. And it is nice. I have lived in like maybe 6 guest houses in Japan, and they're all crap. This one is like a mansion. This is King of the Hill guest house. I'll put all the links in the bottom. But yeah, guest house. Usually, excluding what you've seen in my house, my guest house, usually they're smaller. About 20 people could live in them, and rent varies from 50,000 yen all the way up to 80,000. I was on this end paying 80,000 for a room that was the half the size of this room. I was like in a closet, and I paid it because, well, back then it was harder to find. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I was paying it because I thought that was normal. But 80,000 is a lot for a half of a room, and you're not smack dab in Shibuya. So if you're paying 80,000, I really suggest you move on out. All right. But usually it's smaller, and there's different types of guest houses. There's ones where you have, it's like a guest room in a guest house. So you have your own kitchen, you have your own bathroom. So it's like a all-in-one unit, and you might share the kitchen, or you might share like a community lobby or something. Or there's ones where, you know, they give you a little tiny kitchen, like a heat stove or whatever, and then you have to share the bathrooms. But you know, usually the bathrooms are dirty. You know, the first guest house, which incidentally, well, it's not the first guest house, but I used to live in this area. I live in Tama Plaza. My guest house is about 10 minutes that way. And I remember I was in there. It was a pretty big guest house. They had a nice like lobby. But yeah, anyway. And I had a leather coat. I love this leather coat. I brought it over to Japan because I loved it that much. And I put it in the closet, and you know, it was coming hot, but you don't wear leather coats when it's hot, so I just left it in the closet. And then one day I came back home, and I was like looking for a hat to wear, and I looked at the hat, and it had like mold growing on it, and I'm like, ew. So I threw the hat in the corner, and I went about my business. Yeah, that's what I did. I threw the hat in the corner. So then the next day I want another hat. I didn't know it was mold. I just thought it was like dirt or something. So then I saw the same kind of stuff on another hat, and I'm like, ew. And then I started pulling out all the hats, and they all had it on it. I'm like, ah. And then I pulled out the coat, and it had all this mold on it. I'm like, ah. And it was gross. I never had mold on my clothes. So then I went to the landlord, like, yo, there's mold on my clothes. And the landlord's like, well, I thought I got rid of that. Well, you can put a banana on the mold, and it will get rid of it. Like, that's what he told me with a straight face. I thought he was kidding, but he was serious. And I ended up throwing away the coat, throwing away the hats, and that was that. And at the end of the day, when I moved out, you know, I purposely paid like 5,000 yen less, or 10,000 yen less. And I was like, there was mold on my clothes in your room. And he's like, okay, don't worry about it. We're even. So yeah, you got those kind of situations. Or I lived in a guest house before the earthquake. It was actually right on, while the earthquake, I was living in this guest house. And, you know, I lived there for about a year. Everything was peachy clean. Then I get a new neighbor. He moves in, and I'm doing what I'm doing now, like I'm making a video, and my neighbor would be like, he'd make this crazy sound. Now at first I just thought he had like Tourette's, or he was mentally unstable. So I just, I was gonna tell the landlord, like, this man over here is making a lot of noise. Can you do something about it? But I'm like, nah. If he has some kind of medical problem, who am I to impede on his freedom of speech. So this crazy sound would go on and on for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. One time, Give Me a Break Man, well, it was the first time, Give Me a Break Man called me. It was 3 a.m. He's like, hey, what's up? It's Give Me a Break Man. And I'm all like, it's 3 a.m. Well, I didn't say it, but I'm like, it's 3 a.m., man. He's like, is this a good time? I'm like, whatever. So we're talking, and then that sound came. And then, Victor's like, what is that? I'm like, I don't know. I think my neighbor got Tourette's. You could ask him. So go over there and go, is it true? And he'll be like, it's true. So then, the day of the earthquake, I was at school, and I was stranded at my station. Blah 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 blah. In the morning, the trains are running. The local. I come home. I walk to my house and I get on Skype because I want to talk to my mom. I want to tell her what is and talk to whoever else is worried about me. So I'm talking to moms like, yo, moms, it was an earthquake. I was blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling her a story. Blah, blah, blah. So then I hear this noise like this. Actually, I wish it could make it louder. It was louder than that. Like, bang! And now I know it's him. So I get up. And I run out and I open the door and this guy, I seen him, but whatever. This guy, he's walking down the steps. And I'm like, hey, Nande. And he's like, what did he say? He said, Udesayon. I'm like, what? Did you just tell me to shut up? And I'm like, and then we're talking, and so then, I go back and I'm like, yo, mom, this guy's crazy, man. We just had an earthquake and this. So then after that, my landlord, after that incident, there was quiet, silence. And then I get an email from my landlord like, Matthew, there's been reports that you're loud. Can you please keep it down? And I'm like, what? So he told on me before I could tell on him. So now I'm the guy making all this noise. So long story short, landlord's like, you gotta be quiet. You gotta be quiet. You gotta be quiet. Then he's like, why don't you move to the other end of the thing, of the little complex? And, but in that guest house, there might have been like 10 of us. I never seen them. When they would come in the hallway, they would like scurry and close the door. If you were to say hi to anybody, they'd be like, what? It was just weird, man. Weird. So, when the earthquake happened, I felt compelled to make sure everybody was okay. So I'm knocking on doors. I'm like, clunk, clunk, clunk. I had flashlights. I'm like, here's a flashlight. They're like, what's this for? What's this for? Like, in case there's a blackout. We're having blackouts. I don't want you to be in the dark. So I'm giving everyone flashlights, and they're all looking at me like I'm weird or something. And then I even gave the guy next door, the guy who was making all that noise, I'm like, bang, bang, bang. He's like, I'm like, do you have a flashlight? No. And then my girlfriend's like, well, hit it, and I give him one. He's like, he still complained about the noise after that. I'm like, what? I was about to run in the room, take the flashlight, and kick him. But I didn't. So, that's that situation. I'm telling you all these weird ones. But these are real stories that I had never had a chance to tell them. So I'm telling them now. At one guest house, it was a bunch of guys. There was 6 guys living in there. And they're all, usually guest houses are filled with foreigners. Now this guest house is like 80% Japanese, but I'll talk about that in a few minutes. So at this guest house, there was all guys, and I was chilling. I met this one guy. He was real cool. His name's Jeff. Jeff, if you still watch, well, I don't think I was making. I had a YouTube channel, but I wasn't making videos like this. So yeah, but if you are watching, Jeff, what up? I hope everything's okay with you when you come back to Japan. Blah 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 blah. So Jeff and I were friends, and we talk about just random shit until like the night turned the day. And at that time, I wasn't working. I was like just chilling. But we would talk, and there was a guy who lived next to him, and he'd be like, shh. moved in there. But what Jeff told me was, before I moved in there, they had some neighbors upstairs, and they were two dudes, and they would enjoy each other's time together. And he said he could hear everything they were saying. I'm like, oh. So I thought that was interesting. But on the flip side, I brought my girlfriend there one night, and we were talking about stuff. And the next, like 2 days later, my friend Jeff was saying that the guy who lives next to me was all like, and then he said this, and then she was like, I was like all embarrassed and stuff. Well, I wasn't embarrassed because it was whatever. But I told my girlfriend, and she was all like, oh my god. Yeah. So yeah. And well, that's that. And more stories, but basically every guest house has a different feel. This one has a really community. In fact, it was a community-based guest house. It has in the contract where you talk to the other tenants. And my girlfriend knows me. And I was going to put no. I was being honest. I'm not going to talk to everybody. When I come home, I'm coming home to do what I got to do, and I'm going to go do what I got to do. But I put yes. And they have a little sheet where you write your little bio and information. We still haven't wrote our information. You're supposed to write it within the first 3 weeks you get here. But then again, I'm the only black guy in this building, so if they don't know who I am, then that's what it is. And most people do know who I am, because, as I said, I'm the only black guy in here. Plus, after I broke the Guinness World Record, I was that guy. So yeah, this video is getting kind of long, and I haven't really talked about Guest House. I'm sorry, and I'm really sorry, but yeah, I guess I'll make 2 videos. I'll make a short video with the facts in the next one. Put them up at the same time. Alright, so Ryman, Mr. keeps on talking because that's what I do. Peace. I pushed the button but it didn't go. Peace.